So, welcome back to the WGLEU Season 2 Match Day 5. We are into the final game of the day and the final game of the year as well. So, for all of you fans out there, this is going to be a good way to say goodbye, at least for now, while we go on that small Christmas break to see some of the favourite teams. And that one that you all love will be Kazna crew coming up against Stronk, though, who do have their fan base. Sadly, not being really warranting the results right now to support it.
No, not at all. They've basically lost the last 6 matches in a row. So
yeah.
No wins under their belt, no points, and a very bad start to the season. I do feel like they're getting better finally. You know, they're starting to improve, but still, I mean, it's hard. It's hard work against Kazna crew, I feel.
Yeah, this one is going to be an uphill struggle if I've ever seen one. Now, even map pool aside, this is going to be very difficult. Kazna are looking good this season. Stronk aren't, so it's going to be a hard task. But Melly, the people at home, if they want to get their votes through early and they want to tell us their thoughts on these teams, how can they do so?
By heading over to facebook.com/WGLEU, the vote is already open and running, and currently it was a very high vote towards Kazna crew. Just refreshed it, and it's 90% towards Kazna crew. Strong Siema, therefore only 10%. So people, you can still vote. You can either go on a Facebook page, facebook.com/WGLEU is already set, or wgl.gg/vote. Yes. Or type !vote in Twitch chat. But I think that command is reserved for mods only, so sorry for now having us cause a spam wave in Twitch chat. But well, people, don't forget to follow our Twitch chat on that notice, by the way, because then you get a notification via email or a little pop-up as soon as our show goes live. And of course, yeah, we love reading from you. #WGLEU is one way of communicating with us. The other way is, of course, the comment section on our timeline. And nothing goes unnoticed, I promise. I'm always having keeping an eye on our Facebook page and my Twitter timeline and whatever. And yeah, very few memes since the last ones. I'm sad. Maybe we can make it up to 3, please?
Maybe. Maybe we can. We'll work on that for you guys.
Maybe I'll reward one of them.
That's how you do it. That's how you get your memes coming in.
Reward the memes. Anyway, talking about this matchup, do we know the first map we're going into?
Muravanka.
Okay. How do you think Stronk's going to fare here? If you're going to give a genuine scoreline, because I think we can all say on paper this should be a Kazna win, but scoreline is the point here. What sort of scoreline can we be expecting?
2-0 Kazna.
Just straight away.
Well, I've seen Stronk Siema play this map. Not particularly great, and Kazna have been pretty consistent on this one, at least 1-1, and all the other matches they've been playing is just 2-0. So I'd expect Kazna, at least on Muravanka, to pick up 2 straight wins.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on this. I think for me it's how much can Stronk do damage-wise. I'm hoping they can really get a little bit of something going here, maybe a round or 2. I know I'm kind of selling them short in this, but there's no point sugarcoating the pill to you guys. This is first against very, very last, and you know we saw the impossible already happen tonight. I don't think we're going to see it twice. Yeah. But still, first map going into this, as said, it's eyes on Stronk to see how much damage they can do, because Kazna are certainly dangerous. But let's check out those lineups, see what they're bringing into this battle.
Yeah, so Strong Siema on the attack was obviously a little bit lighter from them. STBs, Object 140s, RU251, and Kazna on the defense with that classic T110E5 and light and medium tanks all around the rest. So, I mean, pretty standard stuff. Nothing you can really read into it. With those STBs maybe not looking towards the cap at the beginning here for Strong Siema. Maybe just going for some sort of hull down brawl, and Hyber just going aggressive straight away in that T54 lightweight, trying to get some early spots out. And Ojek just also trying to find his way around the map a little bit. And the RU251, very well renowned for getting the initial spots.
Yes, it's a tank that we've grown to love in this map, and with Stronk on the attack, they will have to be bringing the A game to this one, as we know that Kazna are more than proficient on this, and it looks as though we could be seeing a western approach eventually, quite possibly from Stronk. Not putting too much weight or value towards the eastern front of the forest area. They still have the 251 there to keep spots on and make sure that no one else is kind of creeping through. Already nice little bit of damage coming out, and Stefan does receive a shell.
Yeah, shell from the RU251 from the right side from the Magic Forest. I don't think that was actually spotted by Eurofish, and one thing we have seen like a couple of times is a Batcheck going towards this cat number 2 and just getting taken pretty low. You can see the Object 140 starting to pair up with that RU251, or they're just trying to switch positions a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how Eurofish is going to play that one. He's got a little bit of support from Hill and from Hydra and all the rest. Speed receives one shell. STB just bouncing that one as well, so he's also got to use his repair kit there. I think he got tracked, or I'm not sure exactly what you repaired there. But yeah, Stronk Siema just probing, trying to find angles here, trying to find some damage. Kazna crew, of course, with that T125 in the decapping position, just going to be holding fast. And what we saw previously from Stronk Siema is like a push from the one line and a push from the south as well at the same time. Kazna do have the batch out there, so they got a little bit of cover towards cap number 2. And obviously they got the rest of the tanks pretty much up and towards that western side.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult one to break, and Kazna know what's probably coming their way. If you're aware of what Stronk brings, I can imagine Kazna, they're a team that do their homework. They may not have to do any counters to it, but they just have to know what's possibly coming their way. So, 7 minutes and 40 seconds in. Neither team making any massive moves just yet, of course, trying to find out as much as possible, get those blind shots done, get in position to actually make those moves. And I'm curious to see what the object 140 is going to be doing if it's joining up with the 251 in the end. It looks as though they're both moving in towards the south. So playing along to the storyline that you painted earlier, they like to do this kind of two-pronged attack and just try and, I don't know, I guess just pincer them in the middle more than anything. But it will take a little bit of time for them to get in position towards the south, and that one line will have to break through a hell of a lot as well of the Kazna crew forces.
Yeah, they are starting to push forwards though, so it seems that they've started to push forwards at least. And, you know, Kazna, they're playing a lot slower than they have done in the past. I mean, for instance, well, I guess it's because, you know, Stronk Siema haven't gone towards the cap, which is the normal move from a lot of these teams. Then Kazna tries to get control of the middle, then get control of the cap with the T110E5 constantly shooting, making sure they can get the decap whenever they want. But Ojek has been spotted down and towards that right side on the eastern side there in the RU251, so the jig is kind of up for Stronk Siema. But obviously Eurofish is not going to be shooting until the last possible moment, because he doesn't want to get lit, he doesn't want to give his position away, he doesn't give his team's plan away here. Until now, shoots, doesn't get spotted, the Batchat's got a very low profile, it's very stealth, very camo-y indeed, and Eurofish is going to be on reload.
Yeah, Eurofish going to utilize this time. He knows that the attack's probably not going to be coming anytime soon, at least from that eastern side, once they found out the information. And you can see Yuzny and Stefan consistently just firing in, trying to maybe catch a couple blind shots as they go. They know roughly where Speed is as well, so not completely blind in this matter, but we're 4 minutes into this, and really we've not seen much more from Stronk either. So Kazna playing relatively passively. They haven't really had much of an incentive to do anything else. They've had the option to sit there and go, well, okay, if they're not going to go for the cap yet, if they're not going to actually make a play from this one, we might as well just going to wait out as well. There's no need for us to make the moves here. And it looks like maybe they're going to try and condense their forces over towards that western side. We're going to see 2 more tanks slowly converging towards it with Stu and Speed. And those 251, the object as well, are going to be joining together. So just want to see how they finalize this attack coming out from Stronk.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as you mentioned, you know, Kaz's got no incentive to go forward, so there's no reason to be an aggressive team right now. It's not like Stronk Siema has been particularly bad at getting rid of attacks, but you can finally see that STB1 starting to go, and maybe Stronk Siema was just trying to see if Kazna crew would make that first meet. Speed now going in, one of the higher damage dealer here for Stronk Siema, doesn't get spotted at all. That's good work from him, and might catch Kazna crew by surprise. Probably maybe able to find one or maybe 2 shells from this position. But Nexus and that T110E5 is going to spot him out, and Speed trying to get the snapshot, doesn't quite manage to find it.
No, luckily enough for Nexus, he was just behind the piece of that hill and didn't quite get the shot through from Speed. So Speed's in a good position though. He kind of got here for free to a degree. No one really noticed him coming through, as you noted, but Nexus now does have an idea, and the time's starting to dwindle. That's the problem with my eyes, at least, that it's going to take a while for these guys to execute their plan. And by this point, there's 4 minutes and 20-ish seconds left overall, but the cap has begun, so we're going to see the speed limit, time limit coming into place. God damn it, Speed, why have you got to be on the screen? But no, still, there's going to be a move now. This is going to slowly but surely incentivize Kazna to start making their counterplay.
Exactly. The pressure's now on, and Eurofish actually been spotted. We saw this before, actually, from the bat chat. It goes a little bit aggressive, but Hunter Sword, of course, was there, which means, to be fair, Kazna crew can get the overmatch in towards that STB, but with so much support from the north, it's going to be hard, and I guess Kazna's main plan of attack will be trying to get control of the middle. They know where the Object 140 is, they know where the RU251 is, FKK Schnitzel and that hull down tank going towards the Object 430. And Steroid receiving a lot of damage. I mean, Kazna definitely winning these exchanges in speed is going to go up next.
Here's the commitment. There we go. Over the hill we go. Next is trying to be the tasty bait. Gonna bait, just back away from it. Allow the others to do the hard lifting in this one. The heavy lifting, should I say, as Hyber does get the kill. But then look at the HP again. They're still keeping an advantage here, Kazna. Next is taking a little more than maybe it hoped, but not without a reply. Now, the counter move's going to come in, but it's a little bit... I don't know, pulled apart at the moment. No one's really getting those clean engagements here from either side. Seeing Hyber taking a shell, but Hunter going to get caught out as he tries to make his way in from the eastern flank. The 2-5-1 in the background still, but it is going to be Kazna in the lower ground, so Butcher, Stu, and Catch Me could get into a nice position, but Schnitzel's got their back, as does Nexus, and Vetso still creating this nice little crossfire.
I mean, I am surprised Stronk Siema are actually winning this one. I mean, they've got the middle, they can shoot onto all those medium tanks. They don't have any cover at all, but Hunt's sword is so low.
Oh, and Hyber was about to be the one to close the deal on that, but Eurofish will do it for him in the back chat. But now, let's keep this one into attention. 4 players still standing for Stronk, and Bush is taking so much damage. He gets pushed away. He can't withstand on that hill anymore. Kazna just keeping numbers up, playing as a team. Great team coordination at the moment, not letting any free pickups coming in, and 2 kills back-to-back are going to pretty much secure the deal in this one. Almost a clean slate here for Kazna if they don't lose anyone in these final moments. Wilson and Catch Me, the last 2 alive. Next is out on a limb, but he's going to have the shell soon enough, and the perfect place to deliver that final blow towards Wilson. He can just Catch Me alive, and sadly for Kazna, you know, they might lose out on 1 player. No, I think they're going to have the clean slate. Here we go, another clean win coming out, and Kazna picks up round 1 cleanly against Stronk.
Yeah, 7 players alive, 6,094 hit points still in the bag. So yeah, clean win from Kazna crew. I mean, honestly, I thought if Stronk Siema just engaged, had a little bit more balls to go forwards in the middle and just try and do some damage against those 3 medium tanks that were just sitting there. But they didn't. Huntersword was kind of playing around the hill. He had Ojek not being too aggressive as well. So I thought all it needed from Stronk Siema was for them just to push in, try and take them down, get control of that middle valley area. Then they can just consider, you know, keeping pressure on in the cap, making sure they have the angles covered. As long as they have an STB still on the left side, they should be okay. But yeah, I mean, as soon as Kazna pushed in, they took down speed very quickly indeed. You had Nexus making some good shots as well in the T110E5, and they you know, they used Eurofish to get control over the middle and the back chat because he was on the side. And yeah, I mean, Nexus, fantastic round. He's been such a beast, such a crucial member here for Kazna crew. 2.9k with 3 kills, and you got to remember, Elian is still in China. He's still playing there, so they just don't have their main kind of clutch player. So that's maybe one of the reasons why they lost against Tornado. But right now against Stronk Siema, they still have the advantage.
Yeah, you could see the window of opportunity there maybe coming through for the Stronk side. There was a moment when, as you said, the 3 players kind of trapped in the small valley after getting rid of speed. There's a chance for a lot of damage to come down towards them. We've seen a hell of a lot of teams being able to do that. So maybe, you know, taking down your Hybers and players like that who had committed off the back. But as you noted, no one really went for it. Huntersword got caught out, didn't really fully commit, and just kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place. But still. Round 2 going to be coming through. This is a bit of a more test for Kazna, I guess, on the attack. I want to see how they approach it in comparison to what we saw from Stronk. There was a little bit quiet at the beginning, quite slow, but let's see what those lineups are coming into this matchup, of course. And the STBs sticking around for Stronk.
Yeah, they're a massive fan of STBs. They're like the team that picks the STBs almost exclusively on almost all maps, apart from obviously the city ones. I mean, they picked 6 of them on Prokhorovka before. They're like that all-round vehicle, though. I mean, there's nothing really bad about them. They've got like 6.5 seconds reload for 390 damage, so they got highest DPM of any medium, so they are very good indeed. But there's definitely, you know, as we saw in that previous round, there's other tanks which are better in certain situations. As I said time and time again, World Tanks, you've either got a tank that's good at everything, or you've got a tank that's very, very good at one thing. And those are the 2 tanks which are viable in esports and competitive play. And Nexus, you know, in that T110E5, hull down, you can't penetrate him really in the position he was in. 2.9k damage, highest damage dealer. Like, you know, the STB's not always the way forwards.
I like seeing a little more specialist tanks coming in, and Schnitzel's, you know, trying to draw in that 2-5-1, and Aojek taking the bait, gonna have to try and back away from there, as well, that forest contains a lot more than magic right now. He's going to have to be careful, just tuck himself behind the house and pray for backup en route, but a very polarizing start from both sides.
Yeah, Ojek doesn't go down, so I mean, Kazna crew kind of give away their plan, their strategy here, and Stronk Siema just surging up north, maybe trying to find a way in towards the backside of Kazna crew. Of course, would be able to work out nicely, but I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty surprised Stronk Siema didn't just go for the engagement. Like we've seen, I think, like for instance, when a team picks like an E25, like we saw Penta, the team just goes to the exchange in that Magic Forest. With the AMX 1390, also pretty indicative that there will be some sort of capping move down towards the south, because that's where you need the good Camo Valley capping tank, because it's open, easy to shoot, and you just don't want to get spotted because you're going to die, unlike the north where you can basically just put a heavy tank, you need something hull down. So yeah, I mean, decent start here for Kazna crew. WGLEU control over that southern side. They got the AMX 1390 there for the side shots and the cap if they need to. And obviously, you know, RU251 WGLEU is going to go down very quickly if he does decide to try and decap against FKK.
So 8 minutes now on the board, 2 minutes past. As you noted, WGLEU there was the man to receive a little bit early on, but yet to see how that may affect them down the line. It could be a very clean pickup though, if he does challenge. Well, there's STB1 still in this. Not too much worry, and you can see that already Stronk are well aware of what the plan is. Once they saw maybe the 1390 in practice, as you said, quite an obvious move to a degree that they'll be looking further towards the south rather than the eastern cap. And I want to see if Kazna still go for it, because it's not necessarily blind confidence, but it's, you know, still putting faith in the strategy, even if the opponents are aware of it to a degree. So, look at the positioning so far. You know, what needs to happen for Kazna crew to really, you know, start this one building towards that victory?
Well, it's at the moment, the most important thing is to get FKK in the right position. He's obviously going to go for that cap at some point in time, and he's going to start it off now, just reverse himself, and now obviously wants to be able to scamper out there as quickly as possible if he has to. Cap's going to start, then the onus is on Stronk Siema to make the next move. Kazna are set up just like on Prokhorovka, straight from the north to south, basically in a straight line. Obviously the STB is slightly staggered to cover each other. And the position the Object 140 in is the most OP position in the game, basically. It's insane. You got like double bushes everywhere. You're going to be impossible to spot, especially in that Object 140. Pretty small tank, decent camo value. So if Stronk Siema do decide to go for the slightly less obvious move, which is push from the north, that's going to get taken care of by that 140. And if they decide to go straight to the middle, you got the the AMX 1390, and you got good shots for the STBs. But it's still a pretty hard strategy for Kazna. Like, one good directional move, the Object 140 goes down, the AMX 1390s go down, and then, you know, they're starting to lack in HP and firepower.
And as you can see with the tracers on, basically, or the laser show on, no one's really aiming towards Schnitzel at the moment. The blind fire will eventually kind of cut through the entirety of that circle, so he's relatively safe for now. No one's really keeping eyes on it just yet. They will eventually work it out, but eventually as well, Stronk might have to come up with another plan, going, okay, well, we've not been able to reset this, we kind of need to commit soon. And so far, Schnitzel's doing a great job of keeping this cap going. Yeah,
I mean, he made the right decision to move a little bit. Maybe scared, of course, that he gets spotted. Obviously, there's a 3 seconds delay from when you're spotted to when you know that you're spotted, obviously, via that bulb. WGLEU now surging forwards. Obviously, that initial damage took him down to a 2-shot, so he's got to be careful.
Okay, so at least they're going to get the spot here. So Schnitzel's in trouble, but he gets maybe just away alive. Does just about find a deflate there, tied behind, but it was traded out for WGLEU. So picking up eventually on what they started there by taking down the 251.
A lucky little Schnitzel there. Only his track getting damage on one of those shots, so he managed to survive, so he can just plonk himself back in that cap, obviously not in the same position since he got spotted there, and start this business all over again. But I'm not sure if exactly this is going to work out for Kazna crew. I think they probably know they need to be aggressive at some point in time, and of course, you know, when you're capping, you kind of run the risk of running down that timer. But now FKK Schnitzel's on a 1-shot. Like, if he dies, Kazna knows they need to push, and there's no fanning about there. And the mobilization from Stronk Siema is starting to come together. You can see they're starting to head towards the middle. The Object 140s aren't in sniper positions anymore.
And the longer this goes on with Schnitzel, the better. If he can keep their attention turned towards us, perfect. Because they've got no one really to spot out that eastern side. The STB1 will eventually get a glimpse, and Schnitzel is doing wonderfully. Again, buying so much time here to allow Kazna crew to get into a position to maybe execute towards that western side. But they'll hold. They won't need to push off the back of it. They don't want to give anything away. But now the spot's coming out. Speed is going to know that there's players coming towards his direction. And you can see eventually they're going to have to turn turret. But they need to keep their forces allocated correctly, because that cap's not stopping. But still, Eurofish is going to find Speed here. Trying to take the fight, but Eurofish actually taking the first shot. Nice little crossfire coming in from that Object 140, and now Speed is in trouble again in this position, and he might just be punished like before. Does a little more damage this time, but again, the cap has been initiated. The 1390 does evacuate the area, and we're seeing the insurgents again coming out from Stronk, but seeming a little lost as to where to go.
Yeah, Stefan is in a fantastic position as well. That T-54 lightweight position from 754. He's going to be able to catch me easily. And also some good crossfire might be able to help him out from the side.
Stefan has to play a bit of a genius role at this point because, well, he does have the crossfire coming in from one of those tanks slightly further up towards the north, but Catch Me now down to a one-shot. And Schnitzel could assist in this, but he doesn't need it. And Nexus comes in. And indeed, a kill steal coming in from Nexus.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is going to be game over, right? 7 versus 5. 7 versus 4 even, excuse me. Eurofish barreling in from the side in that bat chat.
Yeah, this is all but over looking at this one again. If Schnitzel stays alive, they might have another clean game. Eurofish is probably going to be targeted down at this rate. Butcher's got one shot to make, and he will at least make a dent into the Kazna side. But thus far, this has been a beautiful display from Kazna over 2 rounds, merely losing 1 tank so far, unless Steroids can do something against Yizny here, quite possibly. He can get a shell, but they won't lose the matchup overall. They've got a lot of tanks still standing. Hyber on 1.2k this time. And look at that crossfire, just chipping away at that 140.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the tanks are lower from Kazna crew, but not low enough to lose this one. Hyber's coming in as well for that 140.
Yeah, Hyber should be the one to do the job here, really, in the end. Stu does manage to take down another. Yizny falls. And he made, you know, a good last stand, but a last stand it was as Hyber closes down. That's a 2-0 on map 1.
Yeah, Muravanka, a good map since Season 5. They obviously started to stem the tide of Virtus Pro back in Season 5 on this map. I think they really found out how to play this map back then. And yeah, another solid round on the board. 2 pretty convincing maps there, 2 convincing sides, sorry, excuse me, on Muravanka. 2.9k for the STB of Vetso. Stefan, 2.5k, did a great job there. Against Catch Me when he was playing the Object 140. And I like, you know, Kazna crew, they had obviously 2 options there. They could have just stayed there in the AMX 3090s in the cap, continued that kind of way, or they just, they go up north, they go for the exchanges, because they know the whole of the Stronk Siema side are going to be shooting towards that 3090, so they know they can get some sort of position there. And, you know, when you're shooting towards that cap number 2, you're not necessarily in the best defensive positions for a push from your flank.
And I like that from Kazna, just being able to kind of manipulate the weaknesses of the opponents and try and just pull their attention in whatever direction they want them to be in. So a really good start for them. Now, map 2, what do we have coming up next?
Goose Town.
So, okay, not a flawless one for Kazna. They have been challenged by others on this, but still a good map for them overall. But have we seen Stronk much here, to your recollection?
Yeah, we have, yeah. I mean, I think for Kazna crew, this is where things could go badly. I mean, they had a really bad couple of rounds against KB. I think they lost both of them here, so they need to be careful. We saw how good KB are, though, in the previous matchup where they just won 3 rounds in a row against Rusty Roster on this map. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think Kazna have had some good results, some bad results, still more good results than bad results, but Stronk Siema, they have a chance at least. I mean, this is a more logical map. It's all about getting the overmatches, getting the exchanges, not necessarily about flexing around the map very quickly, which is where, of course, Kazna crew have the advantage, basically, on every map. So, yeah, this is you know, the start of a chance for Stronk Siema, I believe.
It should be. They should be able to work maybe a round in here or 2. I wouldn't say 2 personally, but I think this could be a round for them.
A round.
I don't know what side, but it doesn't necessarily
really matter
to me.
on this map too
yeah,
much.
Exactly. So I'm waiting to see what they can bring, because this is the map where I feel that they could actually do something on. And if they don't, I think it's a very indicative sign that this is game over, basically, by that point, as it's a 4-0. So here we go. This is a big chance for Stronk. We don't want this to be too easy for the Kazna boys, but then again, this has been quite a difficult one so far. Let's remind ourselves, only 2 tanks have been lost in the entirety of the first 2 rounds here for Kazna. But let's check out the lineups they're bringing into this map.
Yeah, so it's Ghost Town. The FVT-15B is obviously significantly favored by most teams. 50Bs, we saw like in that last matchup, the 50Bs reloading makes a huge difference. Who can reload at the right time, and that can stem the tide very easily, or turn the tide even. T110E4 for Stronk Siema, still going for something a little bit heavier. They are on the defensive side, so maybe not too surprising. MX-30, interesting. I mean, that tier 9 tank, again, I'm not a massive fan of those French mediums, but in the French single shot mediums, the bat chat's fantastic. So let's see how they can use that one. But like for me, Kazna crew has always been aggressive on this map. They've always wanted to go forwards and just try and get the exchanges, because I don't think they're massive fans. But Ghost Town, if you haven't noticed already, guys, I mean, it's completely mirrored, right? It's the only map in World of Tanks which 100% mirrored both sides. They look exactly the same, so it's completely even.
I think this is a good way to actually display who's in charge. Oh, the damage coming through. This is perfect. All right, nice pickup from Butcher to start with. Schnitzel just gets just decimated. And that is a good beginning. Now, where can Kazna crew work that back in from? I don't know, but they need to work it out themselves because that is a massive loss to start with.
Yeah, very aggressive move there from Schnitzel. Stronk Siema received a little bit of damage in return, of course, but losing that MX-3090, not good at all for the Kazna boys. And good start here for Stronk Siema, though. And worked out very well, but look how much damage just done via Yizli and Nexus, 1,181 onto the side of... That
Speed,
I think that might have been even a HE shell onto that tank. I'm not exactly sure. It might be 2, or I think it was 2, actually.
Whatever it was, Speed's going to be reeling from that for a while. He's chunked down to way below half now. Even a shot following off the back, he's down to 517. And we're going to see the counter-insurgents coming out from Butcher. And I believe Wilson trying to go on a little bit of a flanker, trying to pincer in, not allow it to be free damage coming through. Lucas and Hunter trying to hold the line, but the counterplay is going to come out as well from Kazna, trying to find the angles possible. But here's Stefan, here's Eurofish, and they need to do some work. Nice bit of damage coming through. Speed being left on a very low margin. Good counters being for here from Kazna, and the damage is falling off the back. Eurofish finds Lucas, Hunter's now all alone, and Hyber spots that one out a mile off. Nexus found Wilson, leaving Butcher alone here, and piece by piece, Stronk are just being undone.
Yeah, and these MX-50Bs are now on reload. We got like 20 seconds until they're going to come in and just do so much damage. But good job here by Huntzlord. He's in a fantastic position behind that wreck to try and do some damage. But here comes Stefan.
Yeah, Stefan wants in on the action. You can't blame him. Speed knows that he can't really support at this point. Stefan takes actually a lot of damage by now, but he's got so much more to dispense. As now Hunter is that one shot. Stefan on the way out, backing away, gets the job done. And Kazna just put their foot down. They saw what happened to Schnitzel to begin with. They're like, screw that. We're not going to allow it to happen to anyone else. Again, Stu just getting wrecked in this, down to 300 HP, and a smashing from Kazna. You thought it looked a little close for a second, and then Kazna said no.
It's Kazna smash.
It literally was Kazna smash.
I mean, that's Kazna in like a nutshell this season. They've just been so aggressive going forwards. They're always using the individual ability to try and win these matchups. And like, okay, I was like, oh, this could be going badly from the beginning because obviously they lost Schnitzel, and we saw against some Tornado when they played against Tornado Rocks, Schnitzel like every single round was just going in suicide in that RU251, and that may have played a significant role into them losing that match. But in that one, I mean, Schnitzel went down, but the AMX-30 lost like 800 HP. I think the FE215B also lost like 500. So, like, in terms of HP, it was pretty even. But then the amount of damage Kazna was doing back towards Stronk Siema in that normal two-sided ramp kind of exchange. I mean, strange positioning from the MX-50B. Like, that tank weakest point is the top of the turret. So it just got penetrated straight away. That's why you have like an E100 there and an FE215B, because both those turrets are strong. Yeah,
so this is a 3-0 now. And to me, that was just Kazna just kind of tightening the noose on that one. They started getting a little bit close to a degree. And it was, that was a lot less HP than we've seen Kazna with for quite some time. That was a very brawly matchup, so you kind of expect to see that, but that was just they just stopped it where it started. So Kazna fans, I can imagine, would have loved that matchup because that is Kazna in their truest form. But side switch isn't the biggest of deals in this because that was just a brawl, but they'll be going back in any second now. And is this going to the kind of prediction you expected so far?
Yeah, I think so. This is going very well for Kazna crew. I mean, of course, now on the defensive side, I don't know. We have to see what they can do. Looking quickly through the lineups, I mean, we'll obviously see in a second. I'm feeling kind of dubious about that one round here for Stronk Siema, I must say, because I don't know. We'll have to see, of course. I mean, anything can happen on Ghost Town. Like, it's so brawly. There's so much damage going back and forwards. I mean, these tanks are massive. They just deal a hell of a lot, and you see it in a very short amount of time. But yeah, 3-0 to Kazna crew. I mean, never count Stronk Siema out, but it's going business as usual right now, I think. Yeah,
Kazna just doing like a day in the office so far for them, it seems like. But of course, we need to understand what they're going to be bringing into this matchup as the two teams are almost prepared. Let's check it out and see what they're bringing into this battle this time around. And, okay, a little bit different.
Yeah, so artillery piece, we've seen that a few times. I think Eurofish has already picked up this one. We've seen it be very successful because if you put it in position, you can see on the minimap when we go in game, but there's basically just there's basically parts on this map where you can shoot basically from where the other team spawns to where you spawn. Just straight down, straight line. They can't be anywhere else. There's hardly any cover there. So the M40, M43 can really start to punish. And it's not a very big map, so you're going to at least do some splash unless you completely fail. So it works out well. Of course, there's other problems. We've seen like the RU251s be very, very good indeed at getting the decaps, which is a possibility for the M40, but its unreliability can cause problems with decap, and of course with that 40 seconds reload, it might just not work out for you.
Yeah, it's kind of a one and done in that instance, and if it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. But here we go. Let's see what we've got here. Kazna are now on the defending side, bearing in mind Stronk have to be making the move anyway. So I quite like defenders picking up the artillery, because, you know, you're always going to meet some aggression, and it doesn't necessarily matter as much if you see some aggression towards you just hunting out those artillery pieces. But then again, it does have support there, so certainly not left on its own. But interesting start from Kazna, keeping a lot of their positioning towards that northwest side. Yeah,
they're expecting with that IS-7 from Stronk Siema that they just push straight in towards the cap, which is obviously not happening. You know, Hyber's very far out west in A4, which is a little bit interesting. But you can see Stronk Siema starting to mobilize. They're still in those pretty typical positions. Nexus gets spotted, and Steroids can get hit by artillery, but of course the M40, M43 does take a while to aim down. So Kazna will be needing to keep them in place. And actually from the back, Ojek is there in a great position to do damage.
Yeah, Nexus going to take a little bit of, not necessarily needless damage, but taking a lot of it. And Ojek, let's see what you've got here, buddy, because, you know, you got to do a little something. 8 minutes on the board. Stronk need to find their options. Oh, wow. Okay, Ojek, be careful now. Trying to find a little bit of room to breathe and just got denied. Yeah,
very close to getting a big old shell into the side of that tank. Of course, you know, very, very weakly armored tank with hardly any HP. Really just to compensate for its beast of a gun. It can really compete with any tier 10, just like the T-54 can in many respects. But we see a little bit of a mobilization now from Stronk Siema towards that cap number 2. Conqueror's in there, starting that one off, and the rest of the tanks from Stronk Siema in behind just to, you know, strengthen those corners, strengthen those positions, and Ojek rotating all the way around the back to come from a different angle.
Okay, so now let's see what Kazna have in store to try and stop this, because there's a lot of tanks in that cap. They're committing quite a lot of resources towards the Stronk, so this is not necessarily their play, but it's the start of it. Now, 17 seconds, it's not a big map to that degree. They can easily put a player back if required and sacrifice someone, but that's what they're hoping not to do, is lose out here on at least one player. But 10 seconds left, they're going to need to commit someone pretty darn soon here. Vetso trying to keep an eye on the flank, but there we go. They did get a little bit of a reset there. Butcher going to be on the receiving end there. That one is Stefan going to try and hunt out Ojek, but now the battle will commence, and already Eurofish just destroying Wilson already.
Absolutely cancelled out, and also we've got Stefan versus Ojek. Both tanks are pretty much the same speed, and 1,600 potential damage from the 50B. It can definitely cancel him out.
Oh, Stefan as well has one more shot to make. Ojek is going to be waiting a little bit longer. Stefan, let it slip now. Ojek can have a shot into this now. Stronk Siema aren't necessarily dropping this yet, but they're walking into a crossfire, or should I say rolling into a crossfire, but they're making it work. Hunter's coming from the back lines, found one, Speed gets Vetso, and now suddenly we're down to 5 players for Kazna. This is not looking so pretty.
Yeah, this is definitely going better. I mean, Stefan probably made a massive meal of this one, because of course it would be a lot easier if he was alive and helping the rest of his team.
Certainly would be, but he's going to be removed pretty darn soon. Let's be very honest about this one. Stefan knows his days are getting a little bit numbered here. He's into a battle he can't really win, as that IS-7 did join Ojek, but that means that there's maybe a little less attention on the rest of the map. As Stefan desperately trying to find Ojek with his last couple of breaths, he does! He still gets the better of him. He knows his fate is sealed, but this has opened up a window of opportunity, and Stefan just buying the time. He knows he's going to be going down sooner or later, but here we go. Can the 4 remaining players of Kazna pull this one back together? It's certainly an uphill task, but suddenly 2 kills back to back. Make it 3, as this is all going wrong. But now Speed and Steroids left with it all to do.
Unbelievable. Speed might be able to find FKK Schnitzel. Not exactly sure what Schnitzel is doing there. Should have just gotten safe, and he doesn't. And I don't think it's cost him the game, because of course Speed is still on plenty of HP. Steroids as well, got quite a lot to play around with, and Eurofish just in that artillery piece, unable to help his team in this position.
Yeah, it's Yizny is pretty much all they've got, and that's not helped. So Speed now, it's a matter of time for him, waiting for that reload to become available, and Yizny just kind of facing the music as Steroids does close. And Eurofish would have to do something unseen before by picking up a 1v2 against Speed, who's got 1.7k left.
Yeah, he can one-shot both tanks technically. But
technically and practically are very different in this
But
instance.
I mean, both of them just had to stay safe for 10 seconds, and they know they will be unspotted, and they can just start the cap or whatever they want to do. I mean, the M40 is not exactly the most sprightly of tanks. Shouldn't call it a tank. It's an SPG, and it's sitting in the cap. Yeah, I get tweets like this. I shouldn't call it a tank. It's not a tank. It hasn't got a turret. Blah blah blah. I know, guys. I just say it. I don't know why. It's got a tracks.
Here we go, Eurofish. Let's go. Let's go. Big clutch moment. Big clutch.
That was pretty close. I mean,
wasn't
he's going for the corners, going for the sides, the exits. But yeah, I mean, like, that game was so close, back and forwards. I love the way Kazna came back into it, but Stronk Siema, first of all, I mean, Stefan falling in that fashion or not being able to pick up the AMX-30 because he just fluffed that last shot, like, that cost Kazna crew so much.
Yup. I think Kazna are going to be aware of that too.
Yeah.
They put a lot of pressure on individual players to perform, and they play to that. So when it doesn't happen, of course, they know that it's an issue. You're a fish. He knows it's game over, and there we have it. Stronk will pick up a round, so it's not over yet. We said this could be quite, a map with a possibility of a 1-for-1 pickup, and it happens. So we're currently sat at 3-1. Now Stronk does have a round. That's good for them in this instance. It means that it won't just be straight up and over, hopefully, coming into the next one. Do we know what the next map is? It's not like a Ruinberg or something, is it?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, we quickly want to go through the damage.
Yeah, of course.
Eurofish 3,071. Like, he really did a lot for his team in that round. But again, I think it came down to Stefan, like, kind of screwing up a little bit against Ojek, the team captain for Stronk Siema, just not being able to kill him.
Yep.
Like, if he had died, he would have been straight in the
Done.
fight with that 50B on the reload, getting a lot of damage down, being able to win for his team. But Stewart's come in, kind of made a little bit of a meal of that one as well. But he did a lot of work considering he was 2 versus 1. And Speed had a cracking game, finally, with 3,537 and 3 kills.
Well, yeah, we've seen Speed kind of being cancelled out pretty early on a lot of the time. Whether it be bad luck or not, he does get picked up quite early. But you see what happens when he gets left to actually do the damage. So certainly a very capable player there. So good to see him actually coming up with the goods into this map. However, next map coming up is going to be Mines.
Yep, Mines. It's a Kazna map, let's be honest here.
Yep.
I mean, this is the thing. You can pick a map, you can pick 2 maps, then the other team picks the sides. That's how it works. This looks like Kazna's map pick, I believe, but
I wouldn't be too surprised.
it's definitely it's definitely one of their favorites. It's been a favorite in the season so far. Kind of surprised it's the first time we've seen it today, considering it's the most picked map, along with Prokhorovka. So interesting to see. I wouldn't be surprised if it all ends here with a 2-0 for Kazna crew.
It certainly could be the outcome. Melly, people at home must have been getting involved during this game, and I know Kazna has a massive fan group.
Absolutely.
Has the voted reflecting that?
Completely. 88% for Kazna crew, dropped down from 90. Well, 2% points. But yes, very few 5-0 predictions.
Okay.
It's exactly the opposite than Twitch chat, because a lot of people in Twitch are expecting that 5-0, which they are not going to see happen in like
A couple of minutes, I guess.
a couple of minutes, exactly. But yes, 5-2, 5-1, a lot of 5-1s. So
Okay.
and with Mines coming up, well, hashtag WGLEU, since the vote is obviously closed. We want to know European. I forgot how to English. I don't know.
I can't Englando either.
I'm out of. That's what I said on Tuesday already. I'm literally out of words. Like 21k words, I'm done.
Look, this is why me and Ollie have to go back to England at Christmas
Yeah,
to
true.
replenish our
Seriously,
Englando.
I feel like
I feel a
English is my
foreigner.
second language, but I'm just good at it. I don't feel like it's my first language at all anymore.
No, I don't feel comfortable in English.
No.
It's like
I
when
need
I
to go
speak to actual English people,
I
I'm
need
like,
to go
oh.
speak with my family and like actual English speakers. Otherwise, I will go downhill as we go through next year as well. So
It's happened for
you know.
me. I'm not very
it's,
smart
not a
anymore.
it's a phenomenon which I never expected to
No,
happen.
it's
but
really difficult.
Our language is so super weird.
It is. It's like, don't get me wrong, it's not like I speak German now instead. It's just
No.
my English has gotten worse. So,
I think it's because you always use the same set of words, because you have very few other native speakers talking to you.
yeah, I guess.
Like, because our German's English is kind of basic compared.
Well, it's just because I'm always speaking to the same English people.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Joe's
I'm
not
always
exactly
speaking to
known
the same.
for his
Yeah, I mean,
vocab.
No. So I mean, like, you know, it's not great.
Yeah.
And also German is starting to creep into my vocab quite a lot as well,
Oh,
so
no.
it's not good.
See, that's probably why I'm not learning it. Not just because I'm ignorant. It's actually because I'm quite smart deep down.
Yeah,
Not
clever
at all.
play.
Anyway, guys, let's turn our attention towards that possible final map here. I'm not going to call it just yet because Stronk do have a little bit of bite to their bark, but this is Kazna's home. This is their mine. And let's have a little look towards those lineups very soon and see what they've actually locked in for this one as the teams are going to get themselves into the matchup. And we can see what they could be bringing with them here to try and close this one out. Kazna have been setting trends on this map for a long time before. I doubt they'll be too ingenious on this one, but then again, let's see what they're bringing to the battle.
Yeah, so we're moving on to mines. Double 50B from both teams, unusual. I mean, we see 50Bs a lot on this map, but not so much from both sides. And of course, a mixture of bat chats, Object 140s, E50s, and T54s. That's the standard other tanks we see on this map. And Kazna starting from the north, they got a fast enough lineup to get up on that hill. One of the most viable strategies we see these days is sending a batch up the hill, and the rest of the tanks just go for the brawl below the hill, just try and get those peaks at an early stage. And that looks like what Kazna is going to try and do in this first round.
All right, let's see what you got, Kazna. Just going straight in on this one. And you know what? They're not bad at it, don't get me wrong. Eurofish gonna just keep going in direction, and look at this, he's blocked him. Hunter can't go up there. That is brilliant play, and he makes it away as well, scot-free. I absolutely love that play coming out already, as we can see Vetso being the one to pick up the kill, if I'm not mistaken, but it has put Stronk now at a disadvantage. A tank down, a lot of damage coming through, and you can see exactly why this is Kazna's home map. They're still desperately trying to get onto this hill, but Eurofish is there just with a smile saying, guys, please try and come up here. I'd absolutely love it. Now, AJ's getting a little bit of damage done. There's no disputing that, but he's a one shot away from being taken down. Steroids does trade out though, and finally a 2-for-1 in favor to Stronk, but that HP is still dwelling in favor to Kazna, but they need to start getting these kills in.
Yeah, those T54s were going to go down because of the 50 push on the hill, but Kazna still in this game. I mean, a fantastic first set of damage, but of course Stronk Siema now quite heavily have the hill thanks to those E50s just being able to survive. I feel like Kazna should have been a little bit more aggressive going into that one. Eurofish, he's got to have to scamper away from this one. I think the 50Bs are going to come off reload any second now. He will be dropping down, losing a little bit of HP for that, well, not particularly great as Kazna do decide to push.
It's time for Kazna just to, I don't know, once again do the Kazna smash, I can imagine, but maybe someone will stop them. Yisni's looking to take Butcher away from this, and Eurofish is the one to find Wilson. Steroids is putting up a marvelous fight, but well, really to no end, if I'm completely honest. It's a 4v2. Speed's not quite with him in this instance. He's just about to come around as Yisni takes him down, and Speed just wasn't fast enough. And we'll be seeing the crossfire just once again hammering them through, and a lovely play to close it out. But for me, that initial performance out was not Stronk winning, but nice try production. Just, you know, at least you're trying to help him out. But still, that's starting. That little blocking play, holding them up, just small things that I absolutely love seeing. But Kazna looking really strong.
I mean, we've seen that once before from Kazna, and it worked out a charm that time, so I'm pretty surprised Stronk Siema fell for it. I mean, the great thing about that is you can kill the tank that's trying to push the hill. We've seen 2 tanks being killed in that situation, and it reduced the amount of you know, surface area which you can get shots. You know, it's like it's a win-win situation. And I felt like, you know, Stronk Siema did a really nice move, trying to push up the hill, trying to get control of it. But it didn't really do much with it. I mean, because Kazna decided to push around the side and get the hill themselves, it meant Stronk Siema couldn't shoot them in the back. I thought the E50s from Stronk Siema were very good as well, taking down the T54s and just staying alive for a long time. But yeah, I mean, they got such a big HP advantage at the beginning. Like, the E50s can get cleaned up easily, and then those tanks which clean up the E50s can push the hill and help the team, which languished slightly up there as well. But, you know, they got it done in the end. Yeah,
so this is now Kazna on match point. This is kind of what we expected, at least, coming into this matchup, depending on which side I guess they'd start, or how they started, let's say. But it looks like Kazna are prepared on this map, and they look pretty damn solid. Now, of course, there's a chance for a little bit of movement here from Stronk. They can possibly get another round as well, and deny Kazna a nice clean game. Of course, there's still options available for them not to be taken into that overtime. It wouldn't be just to that instance yet, but still, this is basically 1 round away from possibly Kazna picking up a nice clean victory. Not the cleanest. We've seen, obviously, Stronk picking up 1 round throughout this tournament, but still, this match even, that'd be a bit harsh. Like, they picked up more than 1 round, Lauren, God, even though they are currently in 12th.
Yeah.
Bless them.
I thought Stronk Siema would do better this season so far. I mean, I hope they have that Christmas break just to kind of settle themselves a little bit and, you know, at least try and make a bit of a comeback next season. But yeah, they're not out of the game yet.
No, they're certainly not. So let's check out what they're bringing into this round, as we'll be seeing, once again, anything surprising to you? A lot of the 140s coming out.
Oh, the FV215B. That's a bit surprising on this one. Slower tank. Usually only picked on Himmelsdorf and Ruhenberg and Ghost Town, of course, the more closed-in city maps. So a bit of a surprise to see how they can make it work. If they can make it work, of course, it's going to put them significantly ahead in terms of that HP. Or not. So, oh yeah, Kazna have the double E50s. They didn't even get to their lineup yet. So, but it keeps them in the realm there. And it's a great DPM tank, but Stronk Siema straight away with that left side, leaving just the 2 STB1s to point themselves towards the hill.
All right, so how long until Kazna snap on? I can imagine be like, okay, well, no one's here, and where are they? Isn't he spotted? Next is spotted. No damage coming through initially. That is a massive loss actually coming out there. Butcher and Steroids could have done a lot with that. Maybe 2 initial shots back to back, but now they're just going to be overwhelmed. Look at the forces moving in. One's finally come through, but Lucas is getting destroyed. He's just gone over 1k damage towards him, and Hunter's going to get a little bit as well for free, as pretty much Stronk giving up the high ground, but Vetso as well taking a lot of damage here. He's down to a 1-shot, so he's got to be a little bit cautious. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, Vetso was on the hill in that massive 50-50 B. And it didn't go too well for Kazna crew at all, I must say, but they are trying to get the overmatch here. They are very well aware that if they don't get this northern side, the cap will be very hard to decap.
Yeah, and it's taken a little bit of time here. It's not the easiest one picking up these STB ones, but so far it's going well. Butcher and Steroids go down. 70 seconds on the cap still. Kazna dwindling a little in HP, bearing in mind a Vetso, but losing out on Schnitzel actually could be a big loss here, so now they've committed enough to stop the cap, but they're walking into a bit of a trap here, and actually, Stronk aren't in a bad spot.
No, not at all. They're still in this game quite significantly. I mean, obviously, Wilson's next on the chopping board for Kazna crew, but he's got so much HP to play around with in that FE215B, and he's got quite a lot of armor as well. It's going to take a long time for Kazna crew to take him down.
Yeah, Wilson needs to be a little bit careful here. He's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, quite literally. He's just doing what he can while he's alive, but shell after shell coming through. Nexus a little low on that one, just going to be leaving him just about alive on 28 HP. The closer comes in, and now, once again, Kazna is so good at just keeping tanks alive. Whether they're low or not, whether they're down on HP, they keep tanks in the game. Now, Hunter's found Vetso at least, but he was low from the very start, so any damage he got done was almost a gift. And now these 4 tanks remaining are going to have to try and do something incredible here, because at the moment it looks like we're going to see the 5-1 closer here from Kazna. Nexus going to have a shell any second now. Aojek looking vulnerable. Will he expense it? Will he use it on him? No, Yizny doesn't. Actually, Nexus not going to even land the shot there as the Object 140 going to be moving into spot. Lucas is going to found Stefan, but 4v2 now is looking like it's a sealed deal unless something incredible happens, and Lucas is fighting as hard as he can here. Nice crossfire to deny the easy play off the back of the kind of lighthouse island there. It's actually slowed down Kazna a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Lucas is in such a fantastic position, but I think they realize that Hunter's Ore is actually on reload, but of course, Lucas is going to be able to dip down. Yizny's probably going to get taken out in the next shot. Yes, he does, and Stronk Siema still kicking.
Yeah, they are still fighting tooth and nail for this, thanks to these two. If I'm honest, this crossfire has paid dividend and then some, but now Hyber's going to the battle. He's having none of this. He's got the high ground, he sends Lucas packing. Good little shot on the way out, though, from Lucas. Good performance from him. And now Eurofish into the 1v1 up against Hunter. Hunter does have shells now ready and available. Eurofish is just going to have to bear this one out. He's just going to have to grin and bear it because, oh, Eurofish just about lands a shot in time, leaving Lucas alive now, 1v2. Does get one towards Hyber, but it's not enough. And Kazna close it out at 5-1.
237 HP left at the end there for Kazna crew. Got so close. I mean, unbelievable. Huntswood actually bounced the shell in the back chat from Hyber at the end, and that
Ouch.
E50's got some penetration to play around with. What a round. I mean, almost the throw came out there from Kazna crew.
Yes.
Got some fantastic work by Huntswood. He was such an instrumental player. You're talking about 400 meter range, and he was still hitting every single shell. Lucas Shiesty as well, the ex-team captain for Evil Planet Squad, had a really good game. Both those two players doing 3.7k and Lucas Shiesty with 2.8k. But Hyber, the highest damage dealer here, 3,902 damage with 2 kills. Such a beast.
Yeah, the thing is with Hyber, he's such a backbone of the team as well. He's not just the guy like, you know, your Vetsos, you have these big moments, or your Elians. He's sometimes the guy in the background just being the kind of glue holding the team together.
Yep.
So it's very easy for people to overlook him, but I love watching that guy play. I was a fan of him since he was playing the T69 on Abbey still. Like, I used to love him on that map, so it's really nice seeing him at the forefront here for Kazna. But a nice closeout game for them. But Melly, the people at home had faith all along. They never doubted the Kazna crew, boys.
Absolutely
and I doubt
not.
they ever will.
No. As I said, the voting still heavily favored. Of course, it ended as we last
Yep.
talked, but pretty much no. It did, and it ended 88%. And yes, what a match!
Yeah, it was a really good match. I think we've had some great matches today.
Yeah,
I think we've
I
seen
just
everything we
catch
want.
small glimpses of it, sadly. But I will definitely rewatch the VOD over on youtube.com/WGLEU, and so should you if you just joined us. Sadly, it's over. And of course, follow us on Twitter at WGLEU to stay updated during the holidays about what's happening on our platforms and all.
And it's a really good idea because, of course, there is that little break. So if you want to be reminded when we come back, all of the social media places will be keeping them up to date, right?
Which is the 12th of January,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
You're spot on.
And we have our awesome Gold Series Spotlight series. Will it be continued during the holiday?
Yep, it's yeah, it's going to be continued holiday. Next year is going to be brilliant. Got a ton of cool features, a lot of cool video content as well, which of course we filmed recently, which you guys will be able to check out from the first day of the new year and the first match day of the new year. It's going to be fantastic. Basically, going to be going into it head first.
Yeah, so guys, it's been an absolute pleasure this year to be bringing you some absolutely wonderful World of Tanks. There's no disputing that. We've seen a lot of changes, let's say, this year. It started off in a different game mode. You know, everything was different, basically, back then. And now we're here, and I think we've finally got a really good place for World of Tanks. So I think everyone at the desk can wish you guys at home or wherever you're watching from, if it's at work as well, who knows. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a great New Year. Guys, we're going to be back on the 12th of January, as Melly said, and why not kick it off with one of the old rivalries, maybe the organizations more than the teams these days, but Wombats on Tanks taking on Synergy. That'll be the first game we're back, then Utopia against Tornado Rocks, and following off, there'll be plenty to see. So guys, as you can see, there's a real plethora waiting for you in the new year. So guys, do not forget to be playing those tanks in the downtime. Don't forget to be watching those VODs. Get yourself prepared for the new year of tanks, so we can assure you it's going to be incredible. But guys, have a fantastic holiday, and hopefully we'll see you when we're back.